What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in this video, we're going to discuss a little bit about new Titans, both new elements of Titans and then adding a fifth Titan to each of the existing elements. Now, this video is a little bit longer, but I wanted to really explore the pros and cons of the discussion. You know, both why they should, why they won't, who's going to be the most upset, and you know who would really want something like this to happen. And you know, I am all for adding additional content. Of course, no content in this game is free, and we do discuss that a little bit in the clip that I'm about to show you. But I feel like this is, while a little bit longer than my average video, I feel like it's a good watch to kind of break down my idea on why they're going to be adding Titans in the future. I feel like it's coming. I don't know if it's going to happen first on Hero Wars Mobile or off on Hero Wars Facebook and web, but by the time you finish this video, I feel like you'll be convinced as well. They will be adding some new Titans in the next year or two, if not, you know, later on this summer, even that soon. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I don't know anything for sure. Of course, if I did, I would absolutely be sharing that. But please check out this video. If you are one of my loyal viewers, you're going to watch it to the absolute very end. But if you're looking for a way to support me and the channel, just watching the video to the end at least one time, and then clicking the like button if you find it interesting or helpful. You know, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would really help me out, and I would appreciate it if you did. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Titans are boring? Yes, they are. Yes, Titans are boring. Titans are very boring. But let's get into this discussion real quick. It's something that people have been asking for a long time, and that is new Titan elements. And there's some pros and cons to this, and I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts as we kind of work through it. There are 3 Titan elements: Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm sorry. Earth, Water, and Fire, not Earth, Wind, and Fire. A commonly requested addition to the game, new Titan elements. We've seen things like Wind and Darkness and Light. And the reason why I'm here on my my mobile account is because we do have some level of precedent for these elements existing. Now, in the castle ruins, we have these hydras, right? The hydra fight. We have earth, water, and fire, but we also have darkness, light, and wind. Okay, all right. So that's one thing. That's one thing. Over on Hero Wars Facebook and web, we actually have Seymour, and Seymour is he's a darkness titan. If you paid attention to the lore and the story and everything about Seymour, this main boss of Chapter 15 on Hero Wars Facebook and web, we have this fight with this darkness-based titan. So we're right there. Like, we're right on the cusp of, I wouldn't say a justification for additional Titan elements, but we're not far from them being able to design additional Titan elements. Like, the basis is already there, right? You could just build a wind and darkness and light handful of Titans. You could even make Seymour the darkness super Titan. One super Titan, one tank, one support, one damage dealer, marksman. I guess all of them are marksmen or whatever. And you can add in additional elements. Why would you? Well, there is this argument that Titan fighting is boring, but that's completely subjective, right? Some people love the idea of Titan fighting. Some people love the strategy behind a limited number of combatants instead of, you know, the 55 heroes that we have access to. Okay, Brentus says no more Titans. Elaborate, Brentus. If you're going to make a statement in my chat, I would like you to back it up with why. Okay, that's part of the reason why I want to have this discussion. So they could, on the Nexters side of things, on the Hero Wars side of things, they could make a ton more money, right? They would make a ton more money adding new Titans Adding Titans to current elements would be more balanced. The addition of a new element could hinder your dungeon progress depending on how deep you are. Tunes, that's actually not true, because the elements are actually the difficulty of the various rooms are based on the element, not on your overall score. Okay, so what I mean to say is if you've defeated 100 Earth Titan rooms but only 5 Fire Titan rooms, your Fire Titan battles aren't at level 100, they're at level 5, right? So they can make more money, right? They could add variety to Titan fighting, but obviously, like, the big downside would be an additional, it would push the end game that much further away. And we're not talking about for whales, the people that, you know, that supposedly are the ones bankrolling everything, but also for the individual. Not only am I going to have to, you know, level up a team of 5 to be competitive in Guild Wars, but I'm going to need to level up, you know, 3-ish more Titans, which everybody that's competitive in Titan fighting has to do that anyway. They have to level up 8-ish Titans, right? Maybe 7. Maybe you can get away with 7 if you have the right 7. But how is it any different than adding a new hero constantly? How about a 5th Titan per element? All right, so let's just weave this in. Like Tunes mentioned already, what we could do instead of having an additional element added to the list, we could have 5th Titans added to the lineup. All right, we already have 4 of each element. Let's stick to the Earth Titan team, because we are, you know, we do have that Earth Titan event active on Hero Wars Mobile. Angus, Avalon, Eden, and Silva. We add a 5th. Everybody gets a healer Titan. Let's just say, for the sake of it, a healer Titan. Another Titan to level up, another Titan to spend resources on, another Titan to pull sparks of power out of, another Titan to change up the meta, right? It would drastically affect fights in the Facebook and web version of the game, because you would basically have to. You would either have to have 4 or 5 Titans, because if you had 3 of the same element, you would just get run over by people that had 5, right? Because their totem would charge so much faster than yours. Right? Add a healer to fire. Okay. More healers per element except water. Okay. No new elements, says Hero Wars Guide. Okay. A 5th Titan per element makes sense on mobile since there are no totems. I could see that, Scott K. I could see that argument. Make it a mobile introduction. But a lot of people would be upset about this. And to me, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but to me, the reason why everybody's going to be upset about this is because they're adding something new in the game that you have to spend on, right? That you need to spend on in order to be competitive at the super high levels. Okay. Never mind the fact that they're adding 4 new heroes a year. Never mind the fact that they're adding, you know, 30 skins a year. Yeah, the new Fire Titan will have a charm. No, please, no more Titans. It's too expensive to upgrade even 1 Titan, let alone a full element. Is it, Fahim? Okay. I don't want to quit, but they change things this rapidly. I will quit. Well, Fahim, the good news is they only make 1 big change per year. Only 1 big change per year, and I would be happy to be proven wrong, but they only make 1 big change per year, so I would imagine that this big change would either, you know, come in a year that hasn't had anything big happen to it. We haven't had any big changes on Hero Wars Mobile or Facebook and Web yet this year. We've had small changes, reworks, hero additions, skin additions, but nothing big, like the addition of the Ascension system that came last year, the addition of the Hydra and Titan artifacts, and the I guess the dungeon and the Titan skins were both happening last year on Hero Wars Mobile. Jack says Titans are the worst part of the game. Okay, personally, I'm against all the new skins. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you at all, Finkelzo. I think the addition of skins, I think they're going to run out of skins, and they're going to have to start just increasing heroes beyond the point that they ever thought that the hero would ever get to, when they add a 5th and a 6th skin to certain heroes. If you don't want to spend in this game, you will have to be satisfied with less power. That is how the game works. 100% correct, Zol. 100%. And really, you know, the average spender spends $125, right? That's the average of the average. And we know that only a very small percentage of players actually do spend. So the people that spend in order to keep up to stay competitive, they would be the ones most affected, I guess, in the short term. But in the long term, it would just increase the number of Titans that we would have to potentially level up in order to be effective. And I think that there is a lot of Hero Wars players that are only playing the game for the Titan side of things. They're not interested in leveling up the heroes. They're not interested in being competitive in the arena. They're not interested in the Guild War hero fights or the Global Championship hero fights. They're not interested in that. They only want to be the Titan fighting team, okay? They don't care about everything else. But they're not the ones designing the game. They're not the ones coming up with, you know, growth for the game. A fourth set of Titans could totally change the Guild Wars, which would make the game more interesting. Okay, let's see. Titan campaign where many Titan resources could be collected would be more fascinating than the dungeon. Maybe count that. Maybe that's the answer. In order to add in a fifth Titan or a fourth, fifth, and sixth element, they need to add some kind of campaign for the Titans. Now you might say, well, that's the dungeon, right? Just do the dungeon. But what if they added, like they had on Hero Wars Facebook and web, they had these Titan missions, Titan specific missions, right? You had to use your Titans in chapter 14. Mobile players don't have privy to that, unfortunately. It was a really cool little, you know, side mechanic. But, you know, consider when they added the Ascension system, they added the whole Guild Raid system in order to give you ways to accumulate the resources needed to level those things up. Those the Tree of Wisdom and the Ascension Totem thing. That could be a way to fix things. We need Wind Titans, okay? Common statement. We need Wind Titans. Why Wind Titans and not something else? That's always been the curious thing for me. But if they were to add these, people would be throwing fits. There would be some level of boycott, but in the grand scheme of things, it actually wouldn't be that many people. And the game would still continue to get, you know, thousands of new downloads every single day. People coming back to play the game. You'll have, you know, players like me that are just trucking along, spending $20 a month on the game, you know, $30 a month, $10 a month on the game. The game would be just fine. And then 6 months later, we wouldn't be complaining about it. Do you guys remember how much we were complaining about Titan artifacts on Hero Wars Mobile? For like months. There was a whole boycott movement. They started the influencer summit, and there was 10 influencers, and we had all, you know, we had Bambi the note taker and all this craziness, right? And then the similar thing happened with the Titan skins, and they were like, oh no, it's not going to be a pay to win aspect. The Titan skins are not going to be pay to win. And to a degree, they're not. They are. You can buy some bundles here and there, and there is an event here and there that you can get, you know, additional dungeon coins. But the bulk of us we just move on, right? It's a game. Really, how much does it affect you? You want to get that banner? You want to get that Global Championship banner so you can say that you did? Exuvium says a Titan campaign on mobile would actually be really cool. Rewards would be Titan potions. Not only Titan potions, but artifacts and skin stones. All the resources that you would need. Titan soul stones. Have Titan... Like, you see how we have this Astrid and Lucas mission and this Celeste mission right here? How cool would it be if there was a way to farm Titan-specific soul stones? Like, if I just wanted to farm Angus soul stones, and the Super Titans were available at the later end of the campaign. As for the number of elements, it should be an odd number, 357. There are already some expanded rock, scissors, papers variants to 5 modalities. Okay. So the downside is it's more expensive, but really, is anybody in my chat right now a player that has more than one maxed out Titan on any version of the game? I'm curious. Is there anybody in the 125, 130 people that are watching right now, any of you at all that you have Crazy Kid, you have 4 completely maxed out Titans on web. You maxed out level, maxed out star evolution, maxed out artifacts, maxed out skins. 4. That's impressive. I like it. I have a couple of maxed out Titans. Okay. Not close to maxed out anything. So maybe I was, no, just the stars. Okay. All right. So maybe I'm not going to say that there's not some people in my chat and in my greater community that have maxed out teams. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that the average player will never get there. And while that's a tough thing to say and an even tougher thing to hear, you know, it's all about expectation setting with this game, right? I'm never personally going to be a 6-star totem, maxed out Titan bridge troll. Like, that's never going to be me. And by the time I get anywhere near that, they will probably add new stuff. So the argument that it's costing more to get to the same competitiveness level, ultimately it probably doesn't affect us all that much. But on the other side, it adds a little bit of variety. It adds a little bit more interest to the effectively solved meta of Titan fighting, right? Effectively solved. I see lower power Titan teams being stronger teams. Okay. It takes star level number, artifact number, and pieces, skins, etc. It's hard to max out one Titan in even almost 3 years for me. I don't have one. I don't either. I don't have a single maxed out Titan on any of my accounts. I'm a light spender. I'm not a heavy spender. I know people that spend, $500 to $600 a month. I know people that spend over $1,000 a month in this game. Like, I'm not going to compete with those players. Those are going to be the players that are going to complain, right? Those players are going to be the ones that are going to complain and threaten to leave and, gnash their teeth and threaten boycotts and all of this. If they're maxed, what's the fun in building? Exactly. I think that I may even be more interested if they had more variety. If they had a darkness Titan that interacted really interestingly with the fire with Moloch, like if they had a really solid light healer that would allow you to use Moloch as a tank and would promote a different strategy altogether than what you're already dealing with, I feel like that would be so much more interesting. I'm not condoning this. Right? I'm not saying that they should do this. It's just something that people ask about a lot, right? And like the element groundwork is already there. They already have 6 elements in this game. They already do. I think it's coming. I think it is coming probably in the next year or two. I think they'll introduce an additional Titan element, if not 3 more.